Welcome back, YouTubers. It's Thursday night once again, and NJ, you know what that means, don't you?
TNA. TNA.
But hold on a sec, it's now called Impact Wrestling, isn't it? Let's not forget that, because wrestling matters.
Yeah, that's what they tell us.
Yeah.
Tell us.
We are the British Fist, don't forget that.
Ka-ching.
I am Mr. Parkin! No copyright gimmick infringement for Mr. Anderson there. But one person who definitely doesn't steal any gimmicks, it's NJ.
What's up?
Hey, well done, NJ. Make sure you guys also subscribe up above to us, like this video, and put your comments on the show down below.
And be sure to contact us in the links in the description box below.
Yes, that well said, NJ. Shall we just get down to this review?
Yeah, let's.
So after Slammiversary, we open up with Mr. Anderson, which kind of makes sense as he's just won the TNA World Champion. You want to see a new champion paraded in the opening segment. He comes out with this whole sort of celebratory ring thing, and he was saying how he's the champion and everything.
Yeah, I think him winning the title, I think he is the right person to come out first. And he starts saying how he's the champ and all that. But
the really surprising part comes when Gunner comes out. I just wasn't expecting this. Even though I saw the spoilers, I still kind of wasn't expecting it. Gunner comes out and says he wants a title shot because he helped Anderson hurt Sting last week. How does that mean he deserves a title shot?
No, I think it's, in Gunner's way, it's to repay him for helping out Mr. Anderson.
Should just give him some money or something.
We did try and say thank you for doing that. That still wasn't enough for him.
I wish you luck on your future endeavours, I think he said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Mr. Anderson then throws beer in his face and then gets put through a table by Gunner. So the first thing you make your champion do is get put through a table by Gunner. I just don't really know what they're trying to do there.
Well, with Gunner, I'm just saying that maybe the TNA sees something in him, or maybe Gunner's just getting involved because he wants to make a name for himself. He wants to show that he can make it up here. Yeah.
Two things about this. One, isn't Angle our number one contender?
So
why is Gunner going after the title? And secondly, why did we not see the main event set up? Because we saw later the main event was going to be Mr. Anderson versus Gunner. Why didn't they just set the main event up in this segment? Because the segment didn't last 15 minutes. It lasted, what, 8 minutes? 10 minutes?
I think maybe when Mr. Anderson was put through the table, the match should have been made then.
A decent opening segment. I'm just really surprised about Gunner. That's all I'm going to say about that, really.
Let's just see what they do with Gunner between now and whenever.
Yep. So, shall we move on to the next segment then, NJ?
Yeah, let's.
Next, we have Devon versus Hernandez. And one thing I will say is, Devon actually made it to the Impact tapings this week. Wow, well done. After weeks of being on Explosion, he's finally made it to the Impact tapings. And so has Pope.
And I will say that Devon did try to put on a good fight, the best could before the Pope would cause distraction.
Yeah, he caused distraction by talking to his wife and kids, and then my wife and kids, nice little reference. And then Mexican America interfere in the match, beat on Devon, gets a disqualification after about what 4 minutes of the match, and then Pope comes in, helps Devon clear the ring.
But Devon still wasn't satisfied. Yeah. He was in his face saying, "What did you do that for? Why did you distract me?"
Again, it just seemed, I don't know, it just seemed like, why was it there? I don't really understand. Is it to just get on TV time? I don't really know.
Well, maybe this would mean that Devon is now going to appear on TNA Impact more now.
Yeah. And
do something with him, but I don't know what they can do with him because everything's going at the moment.
Yeah, okay. There's not really much to say about that. It was a very short segment. I'm not really sure. Should we just move on to the next segment, which I'm quite looking forward to reviewing?
Yeah.
Next, we have a segment between Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett after their final battle at Slammiversary. Kurt Angle says that he's always been driven and that he's always had a competitive edge, and that he's going to train for the Olympics at 43.
But then he brings up to Mr. Anderson, Jeff Jarrett, that no, be a man of your word. Your generation or something to his family. Yeah. He said, don't go back on your word. You'll be disrespecting them.
To be honest, I kind of know why he said Mr. Anderson, because Kurt Angle's supposed to be the number one contender. But no, Jeff Jarrett comes out and says that he's not done with Kurt Angle. You know, it was a good segment. I like this segment because they do work very well on the mic together, and it's very personal. You can tell this is a very personal feud. The only problem I get about this is it was the final battle at Slammiversary. Why are you trying to make the final battle tonight? They say there's going to be a parking lot brawl.
I guess it's just Jeff Jarrett wanting to get the last say, the last laugh.
But surely you want to see the last battle on a pay-per-view, not on an Impact show. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe it means that they're going to have another pay-per-view match with each other.
Yeah, so who knows? You know, we get the news they're going to have a parking lot brawl later on in the night, which turned out to be our main event of the evening. I don't really like where this is going. I have the feeling they're going to make Angle go off TV and get Jeff, you know, and it'll just be another way of just getting Angle off TV for the time being while he's training for the Olympics.
Well, I think they should try and wait until he's had his title match, then take him off.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they may be giving it. I'm not sure what they're doing, but it's very confusing. There's so many feuds mixed up together. It's kind of confusing. Is Angle going to get his shot? Is he going to leave? Is he going to stay feuding with Jeff Jarrett? We don't really know.
Maybe that's why they got Gunner involved. Maybe give Gunner Angle's shot. I don't know.
Overall, though, I like that segment. I just didn't like the implications that it brought on. That's all.
No, I say it was a good thing because obviously, I'm not really sure. I want to say good things about it, but it's just that I thought Jeff Jarrett would have finished it at the pay-per-view.
It should have done. Speaking of final battles, should we just leave that for this segment?
Yeah, let's.
On Impact Wrestling tonight, we got some news about the up-and-coming pay-per-views, both Destination X and Bound for Glory. Now, for Bound for Glory, we saw there was going to be this 12-man series to determine who's going to be the #1 contender to the belt. Through a series of matches, we had one later on tonight.
Which is interesting, because there's so many wrestlers they have that could possibly challenge for the title.
Yeah.
And this tournament's going to find out which one deserves it more than the others.
I kind of like the way they're focusing on Bound for Glory, but I'm kind of thinking, is it maybe too early? Maybe should they keep focus on their Destination X pay-per-view, even though it isn't X Division only pay-per-view, so that it makes sense that they start sort of building their Bound for Glory pay-per-view nice and slowly now, I guess.
That's a good point, yes.
And with Destination X, we found out that there's going to be a series of matches to determine like who's going to get a contract. In TNA at the Destination X pay-per-view, but there's going to be qualifying matches with loads of X Division guys, past and present, you know, in this, or mainly past because, well, the present one's already got a contract, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
That really leads us on to this match. It was Austin Aries versus Kid Cash versus Jimmy Rave. Now, some old TNA people there. Austin Aries is a very familiar person with all the indie fans. NG, what did you think to this X Division match?
Well, I liked the footage before, as each one came down, they had a little video footage, and I was more entertained of all of them with Kid Cash. Yeah. I just thought he looked like a great wrestler. He had some good moves compared to the others, I thought.
I think Kid Cash worked this match very well. I kind of knew Austin Aries was going to win because because of his indie background, and I think he's probably the most sort of well-known, accomplished wrestler out of the three they had. But as for an X Division match, I thought this was pretty decent. We saw a bottom rope suicide dive by, I think it was Austin Aries or Kid Cash, I can't remember. And Austin Aries advances in this X Division tournament for a contract with a brainbuster, and is looking like an early contender to get a contract.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he will make it there.
It's good hype for the pay-per-view, though, and we also get a good X Division match out of it. So all in all, we win.
Yeah, it did make it a good point to the pay-per-view, and good luck to him.
Yep, okay then. Should we move on to our next segment, NJ?
Yeah, let's.
We then get a match between Rosita and Sarita, the Knockout Tag Team Champions, versus Velvet Sky and Miss Techmocha. And was it me or Velvet Sky and Miss Techmocha? So hot.
Yeah, the camera got a good view of them.
Yeah, touching each other's asses. All good for you lesbian fans out there. Anyway, Knockout Tag Team Championships. For me, this was a little bit random, but I can kind of see where they were going with this match once we got into it. The match wasn't very long, but we get ODB costing Velvet and Miss Techmocha the match.
And then we get an interference from Jacqueline.
Oh yeah, Jacqueline.
Surprising to see her come and get involved.
Question is she relevant nowadays, really?
Well, I guess if the TNA want to get more divas involved, or knockouts, yeah, I think if they're trying to get more in, as long as they have a reason to bring more in, then fine. But as it's only early days for Jacqueline, I can't really say much.
Yeah, it sort of amazes me how much TNA want to add to their roster. As we saw tonight, one of the main problems with TNA is that their roster's so big they can't fit everyone on one show. So I don't know why they're trying to add. Maybe at least it kind of shows that they're caring about this rivalry between Velvet Sky and ODB. The fact they're going to bring someone like Jacqueline in, though, that's one good thing I'll say about it.
And as well as this, going on to that's not really matter. They had this attack backstage after the match,
which Velvet brought on herself, really.
Yeah, and showed a bit of Jacqueline and all that. Yeah, so I say. For the match itself, it was an okay match, but just not as long as it could have been.
So Rosita and Sarita keep the knockout tag titles through a distraction by ODB, so they're still the tag team champions, so they can't complain about their conspiracy thing that they keep complaining about now.
No.
Right, shall we move on to the next segment, NJ?
Yeah, let's.
And before you shoot yourself, NJ, We got a backstage segment between Sting and Hulk Hogan. This was a very interesting backstage segment, wasn't it?
That would kind of give me a reason to shoot myself because as good as it was, I give it that.
1997 called. They want their world champs back.
Yeah, Sting went in there. Hogan gave him his match to get revenge. I know it went for the title, but at the same time, it gave him his rematch. But Sting went on complaining, doing like little psychotic things, drawing on
Jim Carrey impression. This is the match.
Yeah, and he started putting all this. He put this all red. Is it meant to be blood?
Yeah, and he calls Hogan by his real name. I think it's face paint, but he calls Hogan by his real name. This kind of shows me that they're going to be doing this match at Bound for Glory, which no one wants, which is Sting versus Hulk Hogan. Can I just say this once again? 1997 cool. They want their rivalry back.
Can I do this?
No, you can't. But anyway, this was an interesting segment just because of the way it was done. It was very crazy. You know, and at least Sting gets his rematch. I think it's on the 14th of July, Impact tapings, even though Angle's the #1 contender. Just, I don't know. But anyway, let's move on to the next segment, NJ.
Yeah, let's.
Next, we have a match between Samoa Joe and RVD in a BFG series match. NJ, you know what BFG stands for, don't you?
Big Friendly Giant.
No, it stands for Bound for Glory. We can tell you're new to TNA, can't we?
We can.
You know, I honestly thought this was a decent match. I thought it got a good amount of time for what it was. It was a good way to start off this whole Bound for Glory series that they're trying to do to get the #1 contender. I'd give this match the thumbs up.
And I'll say the right person won, not just because I don't find Samoa Joe really boring. It's not because of that.
Oh, really?
But it's because I think Rob Van Dam, after seeing what he's like in the past, I think he's the right person to go on and face whoever he's going to face next.
Yeah. I'm just glad this match had got good time because we've seen matches like this in the past. Like remember Bully Ray RVD, and when it just went on for 4 minutes. So I'm glad that they had the right amount of time to have their match. It's what TNA should be doing to make this tournament mean more.
And talking about this match, there was one good thing when Samoa Joe dived through the rope.
Yeah, dive through the bottom rope. For a guy his size to dive through the middle rope, I know he's done it a lot of time ago. It's still good to see.
It was, I enjoyed that.
And Rob Van Dam wins with the frog splash. So Rob Van Dam advances through to this #1 contender Bound for Glory series match. Overall, in my opinion, I thought it was a good match.
Go Rob Van Dam.
Yes, definitely. Shall we move on to the next segment now, NJ?
Yeah, let's.
We then have a match, our supposed main event of the evening, which was between Mr. Anderson and Gunner. This was a decent match.
Anderson!
NJ, why did you have to interrupt me? Seriously.
Oh no, it's just so different.
So immature. But anyway, I thought this match was decent. It got a decent amount of time. The only trouble is, when I look at the match and I see that Gunner pinned Anderson in his first match, as TNA champion, I kind of feel to myself this was a bit of a letdown match.
But talk about that. Mr. Anderson did do his cock thing with the microphone,
Oh, yeah,
so I guess it gave him a bit of a distraction, a bit of a time for Gunner to get up and do his move.
Gimmick infringement, my ass, gimmick infringement. But anyway, like I said, a decent match. I'm not a big fan of Gunner. Just put it that way. I know they're probably trying to build him up at the moment, but to have him beat Mr. Anderson in his first match since he's been champion, for me, it makes Anderson look really weak. And I just seemed a little bit of a stupid way of doing things in terms of a booking standpoint.
Bischoff was happy with that.
Yeah, Bischoff is always happy when his enemies, fellow white-haired people lose. He needs to get another one of his little black hair dye things out, doesn't he?
Yeah, Bischoff with black hair.
Yeah. My question is though, why does Anderson get a mic mid-match? Seriously, why?
I think that's just him being cocky, thinking, I could win this match with just having time on the mic.
Yeah.
But he couldn't.
Okay then. I wasn't too sure about this main event, but it was a decent match. I'll give it that. It's just the implications of the match and the booking kind of lower this match for me. That is the one problem.
It did. I think overall, I enjoyed the match. It kept me watching, but yeah, the ending weren't.
Yep. And stay tuned because next there's going to be a parking lot brawl. You ready for me, Punk? You going to start this fight? Come on, then. Yeah, let's go on. Fuck you up, man! Right, me and NJ have made up now, unlike Jeff Jarrett and Kurt Angle. But in our main event of the evening, for the last 10 minutes, we had a parking lot brawl between Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett. This was like, I don't really know how to explain it. It was a decent fight, but I had the feeling that during this match, the police were just going to come and break it up. And
I had a feeling that Jeff Jarrett was going to end it. But the moment I thought and Jarrett had it finished, Angle got up and he got the last laugh by knocking down Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, it just seems like this is a way of getting Kurt Angle off TV now. You know, just to get him off TV so he can do his thing for the Olympics.
Well, is it? Well, we don't know because he walked away. We don't know if that's him gone or if he's going to come back next week.
Yeah, I just hope to God this feud just ends, even if it means Angle does go off TV. Just please. Yep. So the fight wasn't like bad, and we had like loads of superstars going, you know, come on, Jeff, and you know, go on, Kurt, and it was kind of fun. It was just that, you know, this is a wrestling show.
And it was something different. Cause like I say, Parkin Brawls, I haven't seen one of them in a while. So for TNA to put one on,
it just depends what parking lots you go in, really. To be honest, if you want to see a parking lot brawl or not. But anyway, NJ, shall we give our overall thoughts now?
Yeah, let's.
Right, so overall thoughts time then, NJ, after that little nap we just had. We need that little nap after our damn parking lot brawl we did. It was very brutal. Right, so overall thoughts from me. I quite enjoyed Impact Wrestling this week. I was very entertained by it. It's just a shame that this whole thing was kind of tainted a little bit by Gunner, for me personally. My favourite match of the night was probably Samoa Joe RVD, just because it got a decent amount of time, and you know, it was the first match in the BFG series match. So overall, I'd say pretty decent. It's just a shame they didn't show some of their wrestlers from their last pay-per-view, like you know, Mickey James, you know, people like that. Yeah, Mickey James is hot, but there you go. So it's just a shame some of their wrestlers don't get on TV after the pay-per-view, but at the same time, this is the problem that TNA have sometimes. Their roster's so damn big, they can't fit everyone on their damn show, which includes some of their champions. NJ, your thoughts?
Gunner, I think, what I'm saying about Gunner, I think it's just him maybe trying to get involved in the main event and have his time. So I think, as much as it's not the greatest thing, I think it's just a test. I think once they find out it's not working, he'll be moved back down.
Yep.
I'm going to say that there weren't enough. There's some people who was at the pay-per-view that didn't make it into TNA, which was a shame.
Yep. Favourite match of the night?
My favourite match is the Triple Threat X Division match.
Austin Aries versus Cash versus Ray.
Yeah, three people I'm not used to seeing. I think they put on a good fight there, and I was entertained during that.
Okay, sweet. So, what would you grade the show overall? Quick grade.
Quick grade. It can't quite make a B, so I'm going to say a B minus.
See, I'm heading towards B minus B range, mainly because I thought the show was very good. It's just a shame that there was a couple of, from a booking standpoint, sometimes it kind of sucks. And also the continuous on the pay-per-view kind of wasn't very good.
And as we said, some of it was confusing. Like, we didn't know why they were doing this or what it's going to lead to,
So it was kind of confusing. I mean, I want to say it was a good, solid C+ show, B minus show. So I'll go with you, NJ, B minus, because you've said it now, and I feel like I need to follow you in order because we're two people and we're the British Fist. And I think that's a great place to end the show. Make sure you put your comments on tonight's Impact Wrestling down below. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and of course subscribe to us on YouTube. Thank you very much out there for all our loyal subscribers and the people that are watching us now. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.